Hey guys, Matty B here. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to another video in the Pretending to be Normal series, all about autism. In this video, I'm going to concentrate on something that's really common for people with autism like me, all around being oversensitive or undersensitive to different senses like your sound or your touch. This is all to do with a region of the brain called the cerebellum, which is responsible for processing sensory information. This part of the brain is less active in my brain and people with autism than it is for the neurotypical person, and as a result we struggle with processing sensory information, and we can be hypersensitive to it. It's common for the levels of sensitivity to change and fluctuate depending on how relaxed, stressed or tired the person's feeling. So if we start with probably the two most common, sound and touch. Loud sounds and noises around us, especially unexpected, can be really anxiety inducing and overwhelming for us, and can lead to things like headaches and migraines, anxiety and preventative behaviours. So a couple of examples. In work, I work in a call centre, so you can imagine when it's busy that gets really noisy with loads of people taking calls at the same time, all talking at the same time. So after speaking to occupational health, it was recommended I get given a noise cancelling headset which would drown out the noises around me so I can be more relaxed and I can do my job better. Outside of work then, if I'm invited to a party or for a night out somewhere, I need to know specific information around what's going to be involved. Are we going to loud places like nightclubs? Is there going to be loud noise if it's like a wedding reception? Is there going to be live music or anything like that? And if there is, depending on how tired, relaxed or stressed I feel, sometimes it pains me to do this, but sometimes, depending how I'm feeling, I have to say, well, thank you for your invitation, but I'm going to have to say no because I'm not feeling very good at the moment, and if I go there and I hear all the loud noises, that's going to set me off, that's going to trigger me, and I'm just going to want to get out of there, go somewhere quiet, and I'll end up going into my shell. So sometimes I have to say thanks, but no thanks. However, on the flip side of this, and this might sound really weird, but I enjoy going to concerts and hearing live music from my favourite artists, which you wouldn't really think that, would you, with me being oversensitive to sound. But experts think this is all to do with the control element. So because I know I'm going to the concert to hear live music, which I want to hear, and I feel like I'm in control of my surroundings because I've chosen to be there and I've prepared myself, it's not as triggering for me. Next, another common one with touch. So the people can be really sensitive when they got autism to different touches, again, especially unexpected. So with for me, when I'm in work, if I was to just wear my headset on my head, that would feel uncomfortable for me, and I'd be constantly fidgeting with it, trying to get it comfortable, and as a result I wouldn't be very productive, I wouldn't be taking calls. So I decided to wear a cap on my head, put the headset over the cap, and that way it doesn't rub against my head. The cap acts like a cushion, and it's much more comfortable, and I can just put it on and away I go, doing my job, taking my calls. I know people who wear their socks inside out, so the seams on the inside of the sock don't rub against the skin on their feet, and it can be the same for other clothes as well, like t-shirts. I've heard one parent as well saying that their son, when they go in a car to go somewhere, when they need to get in and out, they'll cover their hand with a sleeve to use the handle to open the car door, and then when they close the door, they'll use their body to close the car, because they don't like to, because their son didn't like directly touching anything. There's someone who's using his autism and putting it to good use. Really inspirational, amazing kid. He's only 11 years old. His name's Max Palfrey. He's been on ITV's This Morning in the UK. I'll put a link in the description below so you can watch the video of his interview on This Morning. He's recently been awarded a patent, or patent, however you want to pronounce it, to make clothes which are specifically designed for people with autism. So when these are manufactured, these are going to have no seams or labels on the inside, and there'll be 2 hidden fidget poppers on the bottom hem of the clothes as well, so you can discreetly self-regulate on the go. So like these fidget toys that you can buy for autistic people, there'll be 2 of those on the inside of the t-shirts, so you can discreetly do some fidgeting for self-regulation. Amazing kid, so influential. He's putting his autism to good use to help other people to feel more comfortable wearing their clothes. Amazing kid, only 11 years old, and he's got his own business making those clothes. How amazing is that? Next, 4 which are not quite as common, but it can still happen in people with autism. Sensitivity to taste. So the broadcaster Paddy McGuinness, his ex-wife Christine, she got diagnosed with autism as an adult, and she's really sensitive to tastes in food. So she has to limit her diet to only having beige or bland food, because anything with high amounts of taste, like spicy food, would be too overwhelming for her. So she can't have like a chili con carne or a curry or anything like that. So it's really restrictive what the diet she has to go on. Next, smell. Is neurotypical people wouldn't really give a second thought to most smells, but for autistic people they can be overwhelming and overpowering. So for example, if parents go out with their autistic child to a restaurant, and you got the combination of the smells from the kitchen and people's perfumes on other tables dotted around the restaurant, that can be really overwhelming for the autistic kid, and that can lead to anxiety, and could even lead to that kid avoiding those kind of settings in the future because it's too overwhelming for them. Next, with light. People with autism can have a lower sensitivity threshold to light, especially fluorescent and artificial light. If they're exposed to these types of lights, this can lead to headaches and migraines. So again, they'll portray avoidance behaviours, such as wearing sunglasses or a cap so they don't have to look at those lights. And the last one, colour. Some people with autism can be really sensitive to when there's lots of bright colours and a loud splash of colour on like a painting, for example. I read an article the other week where a parent took their autistic boy into another family's home, and when they got into the front room, after a few minutes, the boy started throwing up, started vomiting, and they couldn't understand why. But after looking into it, turns out there was a painting on the wall in the living room with loads of bright colours on it, and that was too overwhelming for the boy, and he started throwing up. And because of this, the mother had to do some redesigning of her own house with softer colour schemes to make it more comfortable for her son. So for all those senses there, sound, touch, taste, smell, light and colour, people like me with autism can be undersensitive or oversensitive to these senses and the sensory information in relation to them. And especially if we're oversensitive to them, they can be really triggering and cause us to get stressed, anxious and overwhelmed, especially when they happen outside of our control, unexpectedly, and without us being prepared for it or given any advance notice. And as you've seen and heard in those examples, people like me have had to bring in different strategies, coping mechanisms, and even preventative measures to help us to adapt to this world with all this sensory information, and to try and stop ourselves from getting into these stressed, anxious, overwhelmed states of mind. So there's a more detailed roundup there of the hypersensitivity for people with autism. Hope you got something out of this video. Hope you've learned something new, and hope it helps you in your life. If you know someone who's got autism, hopefully this will give you a better understanding of their situation. I'll leave it there for now, but you guys take care, and I'll catch you on the next video.